Welcome back to Do-It-Yourself Minimum Lovable Governance. In this quick bite, we continue with the reusable profiles. We're going to focus now on the access component of the ODPS. It works pretty much the same way as data quality and SLA. So those are reusable access profiles, and we're gonna use existing profiles that I have created. So as said, in the products folder we have had the data quality and SLA, and also the data contracts are over there in the same structure. Access folder has been added, and I have created, according to ODPS, different profiles for access. Access is referring now to how the consumer is going to access the actual data content of the product itself. So, as said, the same principles. There has to be always a default profile somewhere defined. Either it's defined in the profiles YAML file, or it is defined in the data product spec itself, but it has to be somewhere the default always. Then a profile called file, having a zip file access, profile called API, so this is for the REST API access to the data product, and then also agent name profile, which is using MCP for the AI agents to actually consume your data product. So these can be whatever you want. You can have different names of these profiles according to your own company policies and your needs on data products. But remember that the default has to be either in this reusable profile file or in the ODPS spec itself. So we have two data products: checkpoints, clearance times, and flight schedules. So now it's time to add the access profiles, and we're going to use a very simple prompt with Claude. So add data access profiles to both products. Read governance rules first. And again, reminding, read governance rules first is the collection of soft guardrails for Claude, how it should actually apply the ODPS in the data product files inside our company. So we are making the governance operational in the AI level. Let's see how well the Claude actually performs now. Reading governance rules, good. Here, yes. And then also checking the products, both of them. Looking at the profiles, access profiles over here. So I found them, good. Okay, created to do, add access to flight schedules, add access to the other one. Okay, well, let's see what it does. It added access profiles to flight schedules, and now it's working on the other data product itself. Let's see. Apparently we're all done. Still doing some cleanup on their own. We don't care about that one. The summary is here. So added data access sections to both products, both of them following the approach. And now it's referring to governance rules number 13. So this is the one thing that I actually did also in advance. So I have added in the soft guardrails now item number 13 before giving the command for Claude. So here is the same kind of guardrails as we have done for the data quality and SLA before. So telling the Claude that how to apply the ODPS in certain situations, when to apply the file-based access, when to put the API access, when to use the MCP, and then giving it specific approach options when to apply and what. So this is guiding which of the profiles of the shared data access profiles the Claude is going to pick for each of the data product. And then it has a couple of examples. As you know, these also help with the LLMs to work more efficiently. You can look at the details from the GitHub, but it's there. So again, we give the AI some guidance. And now, as the result, it added data access over here in the product spec, and it added default. Remember, the default has to be there if you use the data access. So it can be here in line in the data product spec, or then the default is in the shared profile file. Now let's look at this one. This is interesting. So data access, default, and now referencing, not the default, but the API. So this is a variation of how you can also combine the product spec and the shared profile. So you can name the profiles over here, but then you reference to a certain part of the shared profiles. And in this case, it's selected that we are going to use the API profile in the access profiles. So it did not take the default, which is file, but it took the API. And why? It might be your next question. It's mostly because the type has been defined that it's data-driven service. So it's not a data set. So data set often refers to a file. And in this case, data-driven service refers to something dynamic. So it picked as the default profile to be the API. Makes sense. And I guess the governance rules has something about this as one of the approaches. So take a look at it, and then you can see how the Claude is now guided to make these kind of decisions. And then it added another profile here, agent, and then it's referencing to agent profile in the shared profiles, which is like the same. But this is, you can see here the difference. So data quality part, it's including the whole default part from the reference SLA, same referencing to one profile, and it's going to be included here. But on the data access, we define the profiles over here as elements, and then referencing to content in the shared file. So this is one variation how you can do it as well. And the same applies for both of the products, I assume. Yes, data access, default, API, and agent. And now these can actually work in as a shareable components, these access profiles, because APIs can be used with different data products. But for example, the file, there is always in the file for file access profile, there's access URL, and it's pointing to a specific file. So how could you use this in different data products? Not very easily, because it's the content is very data product specific, but the API can be used in multiple data products and reused in that sense, the access profile. So that's the thing. So very easily you can now add access profiles to different data products, and you can do that with single command, as we did now for 2 data products, and the AI did initial work. Of course, we can modify the products if we want to change somehow, but we have the basics done, and now we can continue faster in the product development itself. Very neat, very easy, and that's about it for this time. See you in the next episode.